from the Crypt.
Hello, boils and ghouls, and welcome to episode 246 of Not Your Father's Horror Podcast. We are Dads from the Crypt, and tonight we're going to be playing a game of Does the Edible Kick In before we finish recording? We'll also be reviewing the 1993 film Necronomicon, Book of the Dead. With me this week, we're running the two-man boys crew. We have Jody.
Hello.
Jason is off again. I'm sure he'll be back soon because this hosting stuff is more difficult than I ever expected it to be. And he's got it down to a science. And I get nervous when I have to host, but that's okay. Jody, how are we doing this week on our nation's birthday today?
That's right. It's 4th of July. I've been out in the hot sun at a friend's house, but hot sun, it also comes with cheeseburgers. So that's good. Hot dogs, that's good. And they have a neighborhood deer that wanders around their neighborhood, and it was playing in a sprinkler earlier. So how is this? Like, I couldn't have a bad day watching a deer dance around in a sprinkler. That's good times.
Yeah, I was telling Jody, like, here, if anything comes into your sprinkler, it's going to be like a crackhead or something like that that wandered into your house. Which still, that's a lot from a cheeseburger. So hopefully you guys offer that deer a cheeseburger or some lettuce or something.
Apparently he really likes Honeycrisp apples, or she likes Honeycrisp apples. I got to not misgender this deer, but
that's adorable. Yeah. That's
adorable. It's really fun, and you can pet her too. Like she'll let you pet her, and like good times.
Whenever I hear this stuff, it makes me hate Las Vegas so much. Like I love my city, but goddamn, like we get coyotes sometimes that wander into the neighborhoods, and it's just a natural migration because we're taking over their land and they have to find food. And we've gotten, I haven't seen them personally, but there have been mountain lions in the area. Mm-hmm. Both animals I would recommend not even trying to pet.
We occasionally get bears around here. I've told the kids, if you see a bear, just keep looking at it and back up towards the house until you can get in the door. Don't turn around and run. Just back up slowly.
It's as confused as you are.
Yeah. It has no idea why it's here.
We did have during the lockdown out in our Henderson area, which is kind of southeast. It's where a lot of bighorn sheep are, and they're kind of just because people weren't out, they just started walking into the neighborhoods and eating people's like flowers. And hey, you know what, man? It's their world. We're just living in it.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite things during the pandemic. Is big cities like New York and LA where they were shut down, like animals would start like creeping back into the cities.
Yeah, there was, I think, a documentary on, obviously not real life, on Discovery called After the People or After the People Have Gone or something. I remember watching that. Yeah, that's what it's about. Like scientists talking about how these animals' migration patterns were returned to normal and how they would basically take over the cities again, take over the land we took, which is why I'm kind of said this in my old age. I have trouble even killing a spider in my house because I'm just like, we're on your land, buddy. And you're just, I'm not going to kill you just because you're in a place. Like, I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to be terrified of you. I'm going to throw you outside the whole time. Then afterwards, I'm going to do the shake off thing because I'm with goosebumps. But I just don't want to kill you because you're just trying to live your life. You're just trying to live your best life.
I'm fine with spiders. Spiders catch the mosquitoes, and I hate the mosquitoes way worse than I hate the spiders. If it's an ant or a tick, I will kill that because they get into my stuff. But as long as they're just kind of chilling in my house, most of the time I'll just move them outside.
Did I ever tell you when I got bit by a tick in Las Vegas?
I mean, I'm used to it here, but I didn't think y'all had to deal with it so much in Vegas.
We don't. That's the thing. We don't have ticks here. And this is right before we were going to a concert out in Wyoming. And we had gone out for the day and we took an Uber to go get drinks and get dinner and stuff, kind of a date night. And we got an Uber back. And I came home, took my shirt off. My wife goes, "You got something on your back." And it's a fucking tick bored into my back. So I went to the doctor afterwards. We got it out. I went to the doctor. So it couldn't have been latched on for more than, I'm assuming I got it from the Uber. Because, Ubers here take people to and from the airports a lot and probably hitched a ride on somebody's clothes. But I went to the doctor and the doctor was like, "I just have to be honest with you. I've never seen a tick in my life because I was born and raised here in Las Vegas." So he had to call one of his friends from back east to see how to deal with it.
That's funny.
And realistically, the fear is always Lyme disease.
Right.
And what I found out is that it has to be latched onto you for a very extended period of time, like upwards of 3 hours, or I think longer than that, which is impossible for that to have happened. So
anytime I'm outside, like hiking or walking through tall grass or anything like that, like a quick inspection, usually you'll find them like crawling around. They haven't bitten yet, but even if they have, unless they've really like set in there, you're probably fine.
Yeah, when I grew up in Virginia, that was always, my grandma would always check us when we came inside from playing for ticks. That was a common thing. But I never thought the only time in my entire life I've been bit by a tick would be in a place where they don't live. But what are you going to do? Speaking of creatures, segue. Tonight we are reviewing the 1993 film Necronomicon. This is one, before we get into it, I highly recommend. We're talking about it a little bit before we started recording, that I think is criminally underseen.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to say underrated, because most people who see this genuinely enjoy it, but underappreciated, I'll say. So if you have any interest in Lovecraft or gooey creatures, give it a watch before you hit pause, give it a watch, and then come on back as we let Jody go ahead and synopsize this sucker for us.
Yeah, we were talking before we started that, we like a lot of movies that I think most people would consider bad. I mean, sure. But this one I think is actually a good movie. I don't think this is a bad movie. I think it's a movie just not enough people have seen.
There are movies that I'm like, I love. And but if someone says, again, I'll go back to my Jason 10 or Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows. Well, I'll defend that as actually being a good movie. But Blair Witch 2 but Jason 10, I know, is not a good movie at its core, but it's fun and I love it. And that's okay. Yeah.
All right. So it's an anthology movie revolving around H.P. Lovecraft. So our wraparound segment, H.P. Lovecraft, played by Jeffrey Combs with a great little prosthetic nose that does look like Lovecraft's nose.
He kind of looks like Bruce Campbell in this, I think.
Yeah, he does. But he visits a monastery where a copy of the Necronomicon is held. And he says, I'm here to look at this alchemical encyclopedia. But while he's there, he steals a key from a monk and he flees down to the cellar vault where the Necronomicon is being held. The monks see him and he closes himself into the room, drops the keys, and they fall down through a grate in the floor. And so now that he's stuck in this room, he opens up the Necronomicon and begins to read. And this movie kind of structure-wise, sometimes so we have Lovecraft reading a story, and then we get into a story of somebody telling a story about their ancestor. I'm not going to get all complicated like that. The first story is called The Drowned. It's based on the Lovecraft story, The Rats in the Walls. And so after a boat trip to New England, the boat crashes on shore and kills Jethro de la Pour's wife and son. Using the Necronomicon, he brings them back. But when they are brought back, they are revived as unholy monsters with green glowing eyes and tentacles. And the wife has tentacles coming out of her mouth. And feeling guilty, he commits suicide by jumping off of a balcony. Then, years later, Jethro's nephew Edward has been in a car accident and killed his wife Clara in the process. He finds the Necronomicon, performs the same ritual, and she is revived. He apologizes to her, but then she begins to have tentacles come out of her mouth, and he panics and pushes her away. And then we see that she has a huge tentacle attaching her to something that's further away. It's not actually her. It's I really like this because it reminds me of, did you ever listen to the podcast, The Black Tapes?
I loved The Black Tapes.
Yeah. Well, there was one episode where there was an anglerfish creature where it was like a person and it looked like a person, but really it was a lure to catch you and pull you back to the big fish. You know how they have the light?
Yeah.
So that's what it reminded me of is Clara is attached to this thing. And I think it's trying to lure him in so that it can grab him and eat him. But anyway, he climbs up, gets through the ceiling, and he breaks some stained glass up there, and the light shines down, and it hurts Clara. There's a monster under the ground that's coming up, and he cuts the chandelier. The chandelier falls, kills the monster, and then he sits on the roof and decides to live instead of jumping like his relative did. Story number one.
Jody, just jump in. Tell us what you think of this one.
I think it's fun. I mean, if you're going to do Lovecraft, you got to do Lovecraft. And right from the get-go, we have tentacles. We have Cthulhu mentioned. I think even the monster that comes up from underneath is Cthulhu-esque, at least. I don't know if it's supposed to be Cthulhu or not.
It's not supposed to be Cthulhu, because Cthulhu is always envisioned as this giant, like, mountain-like being. Right. Yeah. It reminded me of all things. Were you ever a D&D nerd?
Oh, yeah.
It reminded me of a beholder.
Okay, yeah.
From that one-eyed creature with all the weird tentacles going on. Yeah. That's what it reminded me of. But I love the creature design.
Oh, the creature design in this movie is great. Like, before we talk too much about everything else, like, the creature design and special effects in this movie are one of the reasons to watch it. And especially when we get to this next segment that we're going to talk about. But it's really, it sets the tone. You get that New England, the shipwreck and the weird kind of culty behavior that people are exhibiting around his dead wife and son, and great performances. I mean, you get what's the guy's name in the Richard Lynch. He's one of these guys that appears in all kinds of B movies, but he's fun, and he's the Jethro in the first part of the story. So yeah, it's a good start to some Lovecraft fun.
Yeah, I think it really sets the tone right away. And the one thing I do really enjoy about every segment in this, but especially this first one really feels like Lovecraft. And I know there's been criticism of this. I was reading about how it's not set in the right time period and all that. I don't really care too much about that. I think a lot of Lovecraft stories, and we can get into later about who Lovecraft was as a person, because he wasn't the best person, but a lot of his stories we talked about were really rooted in xenophobia and this idea of a small area where, like, everybody lives, and it really feels like that. It feels like you're in a claustrophobic space, even though you have this vast sea you can see out there, because it's all kind of inside this one house where it happens at. And what I really like about this too, it does play around a lot with the themes of grief, where this man is willing to, and he's also, I guess, the entity who it kind of reminded me a little bit of, like, because this is the Dagon and the fish people, because it's like a aquatic being that brings him the Necronomicon, because they're using his grief as a weapon, because they know, like, kind of like Pet Sematary did, where when you're grieving to that level, you're going to do whatever it takes to potentially bring back your loved one. I love the tentacly monster at the end. I loved the spike to the eye. And like we talked about, the effects in this really exemplify why practical effects are so great.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell a lot of pieces are fake. It's not real, right? But it has such a charm to it, and it just feels slimier and grimier than CGI does. And
there are a few little CGI moments, but they're not really distracting from the rest of what's going on.
Yeah, the CGI moments are ones where you realize they didn't have the ability, you couldn't do with a practical.
Like morphing somebody into a tentacle is a little more than they could handle.
Yes, and there's nothing wrong with that, because it's charming because it's done within the confines of this practical setup. Which I really love. But also, to any Metallica fans out there, this is where Metallica gets the line, "Not dead, which eternal lie, through strange eons, even death may die." So it also is, that's where any Metallica fans out there that don't quite know Lovecraft at all, that's where the song, the thing that should not be, came from. And to their credit, when they did that song, they shifted tonally to kind of have that droning kind of guitar part, because that just fits with Lovecraft. And this first segment hooked me the first time I watched this movie. And to bring it back to Metallica, the first time I watched this movie was after a Metallica show in 1997 that my cousin took me to, and then we ended up staying over at our other cousin's apartment, and he had just rented this movie. He's like, "Oh dude, you need to watch this." So I was 13, 14, probably 14 at the time, so we watched this and The Stoned Age back to back. And so this, another reason why this movie holds a special place in my heart, is that I remember in my very young formative years, I had never seen a horror movie like this in 94, because I was still young and getting my teeth wet with horror. And this might be like one of my first real forays into what I guess could be considered independent horror at the time. I don't think it was, because it was never a theatrical release in the US.
No, this was like video store horror,
Yeah.
like there were movies that would never get released in theaters, but would only be in video stores, and you'd see them all the time. They'd have to have like a cool cover or something to pull you in.
And a lot of these movies, even ones that came out in the theater, made their money in the video store.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. And this is actually a movie I still don't own on any sort of physical media, except for my VHS cassette tape, which still has the Hollywood video stickers on it.
I think that's all I have too. I don't even know if it's been released in any other form yet.
I mean, they've released it internationally.
Okay.
On different levels. I know you can find it on streaming. Shudder, I think, was streaming it. And a couple other places. I see Jody's computer flatlined. He's going to look that up while I talk. So there are places to watch it now, but for a long time, this is kind of one of those movies that really was, I know I'm getting away from the segment here, but this is one of those movies that was not easy to find. And I still remember the first time I saw it, I was so excited when I found the VHS to buy. And I do have a bootleg DVD of this I bought years and years ago that looks worse than the VHS tape. But then we're gonna have a Chattanooga Film Festival episode soon. But I still remember they did this as one of the red eye screenings.
Yep.
And it was so much fun being in that chat and hearing other people talk about this movie and kind of falling in love with this movie that I've loved for so long, which is also why when you brought up doing this movie, I'm like, yeah, we need to talk about it. Because I'm not going to say it's one of the best movies I've ever seen, but it is one of my favorites of all time because of when I saw it and how much it meant to me as a budding horror fan. I was falling in love with horror.
It's got a little bit of everything. And speaking of, let's move on to the next segment.
Nailed it. we can do this.
That's right. Yeah, we're good. The next segment is called The Cold, and it's based on the Lovecraft story Cool Air, which is one I'm not super familiar with. But,
me either. I don't think I've ever read that one.
Yeah. So in this one, a reporter named Dale Porkle is investigating a string of murders in Boston over the past several decades. He goes to this lady's house, Emily Osterman, at her apartment. And she says that she has a rare skin condition that makes her sensitive to heat and light. So it's very cold in her house. And she tells her story, or her mother's story. 20 years before, her mother is fleeing from her abusive stepfather who has tracked her down. And she goes to this house and rents a room. When the stepfather is there, another tenant, Dr. Richard Madden, played by David Warner, comes out and he stabs the stepfather in the hand and he falls down the stairs. And Emily's bandaged up and given medicine. And that night she is woken up by the sound of drilling and she sees blood dripping from her ceiling. So she goes upstairs and finds the doctor and Lena, the building's owner, doing something to the body. They're drilling in it and doing all kinds of stuff. She passes out, wakes up, doesn't see any signs of it anymore. And Richard says, that was all a dream. So the next day, while she's out job hunting, though, she sees a flyer asking for information about the murder of this guy. And so she confronts him, and then he's like, okay. Sam did die from the fall, but I would have killed him anyway because he was bothering you. And he brings out a copy of the Necronomicon, and he explains to her that he learned how to sustain life. Richard is very old. Did they actually say how old he is? More than 100. Yeah,
he mentions, I think he meant, and don't quote me on this, but I think he mentions like some historical event that's over 150 years old that kind of clues you in, but I don't think, I think they kind of leave it ambiguous to his exact age.
Sure. But anyway, very, very old, and he's sustained his life through the Necronomicon, but he has to stay out of the sun because the sun or heat could kill him. Well, apparently Emily is into this because she and Dr. Warner end up having sex in the lab, and Lena happens to walk in and see them. Lena is not happy with this because she's had a thing for the doctor for a long time. And so she threatens Emily with a knife, and Emily runs away. But when she comes back to say, hey, I'm pregnant. Emily finds her boss there, and he's making threats towards the doctor, I'm going to expose your secrets and everything. And Lena shows up, stabs him in the back. She wants to kill Emily, but Richard won't allow it. They fight, and the lab equipment is destroyed in the process, and it catches on fire, and the fire warms up the doctor too much. And again, he has to stay cold. And so since he's warmed up, he begins melting. And it is one of the best, like, skin falling off melting scenes in cinema history. It starts off like sloughing a layer off at the front, and then he's pulling the muscle off, and he's got like a skeleton head, and then the skeleton starts melting, and he opens up his chest, and his ribs are it's such a great effect. I feel Screaming Mad George all over this one. So cool, so like over the top ridiculous. He's like running out the bottom of his pants, and so Lena is upset by this. Obviously, she shoots Emily with a shotgun, and that's when Emily reveals she's pregnant. And Lena, because she feels loyal to the doctor, decides to save her. So back to the reporter that was interviewing her, he realizes that the woman he's talking to isn't Emily's daughter, but Emily herself. She has been sustaining herself. She contracted the same disease that the doctor had when they had sex together. And she is still pregnant 20 years later. Things have not developed any further. It's just been keeping life going through the Necronomicon. And she hopes one day the baby will be born. But in order to do so, she needs to steal some spinal fluid. And that's when Dale realizes his coffee has been drugged. And Lena, as an old lady, then approaches with a syringe to take him and his spinal fluid to keep her alive.
Mm-hmm. I'll start this one, but one thing I forgot to mention: the first segment, the Drowned, was directed by Christoph Gans, who did Silent Hill and recently Return to Silent Hill and Brotherhood of the Wolf, which I have not watched. Return to Silent Hill.
I have not either. I've seen the mustache picture.
Yeah, I've not heard good things about it. And the hard thing about this is that I usually don't listen to critics because we all have our own tastes. But when people who I know tastes very much align with mine are saying don't waste your time on it, that's what makes it hard for me. I'll watch it someday because I really enjoyed the first one, and I also enjoyed his other films. Brotherhood
of the Wolf is great.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is Christoph, and and just sometimes too, a director can get caught in that trap where the studio makes them do things to bend to their wills, and they can't do what they want to do. So considering Christoph Gans' pedigree, I'm going to say that I'll give Return to Silent Hill a chance. Yeah. Anyhow, this segment. So this is a good segment. To your credit, Jody, you hit the nail on the head. That dissolving flesh scene is unreal. It's gooey, it's gory, it's brutal, and the fact they have so much of it on camera underneath like a bright light makes it all the more impressive when it comes to the special effects team. And this movie actually won a award in France for Italy for special effects at a prestigious film festival because of how good the effects were in this. David Warner is amazing. He's good in everything. What I don't understand though about immortality is, like, did he discover immortality in his 50s and that's why he always looks like he's in his 50s? I want something that also like I don't want to discover immortality in my 50s. I want to be able to, like at that point I'm ready to go.
Just turn it back a little bit,
Yeah. Let me roll that back. But while I think this might have been actually overall though the weakest segment, and not that it's bad or anything, and I don't know the original source material, but it was brought into like a modern age, which I don't think 100% works all the time for Lovecraft stories. And I think that it felt almost a little bit out of place in a Lovecraft movie. I actually think the second and third segments feel a little bit out of place in a Lovecraft movie. And I don't mean it as a knock, but this one also somehow, even with the brutality we see, it still feels like it's also the slowest, maybe.
Sure.
But I'm not knocking. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it was the weakest for me. But I still think David Warner is incredible, and the performances are really good, and they get so much. I can't think of the word I'm trying to say, but they get such great use out of a small set and a small cast. Also for the first segment too, that it feels very Tales from the Crypt, with how much mileage they get out of this very small set, because it's all kind of set in this one house with this one room. But I think what really elevates this segment is David Warner just being David Warner. And all the goopiness and goriness of that end scene. That end scene is like an all-timer, dude. It really is.
Oh yeah. No, I'll agree with you. Like plot wise, This is a slower story. It's mainly about these two people, and they have to stay cold all the time. Like that's most of what's happening during the story. But the melting scene is just like it's an all timer. Like it's like I will watch anything for a scene like that. That alone, even without the rest of the movie, because it's just so good. It's so well done. Again, this is where practical effects really shine because you can tell there was goop all over that stage when they were making it, but yeah, it's a little slower paced. You don't have as many monsters showing up, but I think there's still plenty of good entertainment to be had here. And again, especially because David Warner's in it, and that one scene is so good.
Yeah, they do get a lot of mileage out of this one. I think it was kind of looking for, and that's also not to devalue the lead actresses in this too. Mm-hmm. It is Bess Meyer and Millie Perkins, and who both have Lily Perkins and Buzz both have a laundry list of things they've been in. Very prolific actresses, and they also do a fantastic job. Millie Perkins is still alive, by the way, at the age of 90.
Oh wow, good for her.
Yeah, and she was also in 1976's the Witch That Came from the Sea. So it's really cool, and I think the performances of this one are the ones that really drive this forward, and that special effects scene at the end. But I do think it's kind of the slower one that. But I think I think that when an anthology, they propped it up in the right place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they put the emphasis on the big goopy scene because they knew that was the highlight.
Yeah, and the director of this one, Shusuke Kaneko, Japanese filmmaker, and he did not even speak English.
Really?
So he had a cast of all actors and actresses that speak English, and all he spoke was Japanese.
Huh.
So to his credit, he got some great performances without speaking the language, which that's why I love Japanese wrestling. When you see a Japanese wrestler with an English male wrestler, they'll figure some, or not male wrestler, American wrestler, because Japanese women's wrestling is holy shit good. I can make it a wrestling podcast. We go back to the 70s though. We never took women's wrestling serious in America, but back like in the 90s, all Japan women were having the best matches in the world. So it was always considered like sport there. But anyhow, so I don't want to neglect Japanese women wrestling because it's fucking awesome when I bring up male wrestling. But I love though when like you have this guy, obviously he's been a prolific director of over 60 features, and he got a lot out of a cast without speaking the language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he directed like a bunch of Gamera movies and kaiju stuff. Yeah.
Who doesn't love a good Gamera movie? Some Ultraman stuff too. Oh, he did a little bit for Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. So he has a very, very fun pedigree. Yeah. Very, very fun pedigree.
All right. And our final segment called Whispers is based on The Whisper in Darkness. Again, another story I'm not very familiar with. They're pulling some of the more obscure Lovecraft out for this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this one, there are two police officers in Philadelphia, Paul and Sarah, who are chasing a suspect known as the Butcher. They have recently slept together and their relationship fell apart. And so that's a weird thing for partners to be dealing with. So they're arguing. She's pregnant. And the argument leads to a crash that flips their cruiser upside down. Paul's knocked out, and we see him get dragged off by someone. We don't know who. Sarah breaks the window and exits the vehicle, but she is unable to call for help. She can't pick up anything on her walkie, and so she goes in following the blood trail. So inside this old warehouse where she follows him, she's taken down a service elevator, and she runs into a man named Harold Benedict. And Harold is one of the things in this segment that I'm not sure if he's perfect or a problem. Like it's weird because he's very comedic in just his like appearance and like demeanor.
So I actually kind of love this.
Yeah,
because it's almost like I think they went intentionally with this to have like this kooky looking kind of like the eccentric old couple that live across the street where they're outside watering their fake plants, or something like something like that. And I think they're actually perfect for this because in my opinion, we'll get into it, but I think it makes the horror elements of it stand out so much more when you have these people that are kind of just like the goofy old eccentric couple doing horrific things.
Yeah. Well, the other person of this couple is Mrs. Benedict, who is a blind old woman. We're not exactly sure what the relationship is. Harold calls her his wife. She says, I just met him the other day. So there's some ambiguity there and kind of weirdness about their whole thing. Sarah takes a shotgun and says, lead me to the butcher. I'm trying to find my partner. That's all I want to do. And they make their way down into a cavern. And once Sarah gets down in the cavern, the Benedicts pull the ladder up from the hole, leaving Sarah trapped. So she continues on by herself, and she gets scared, and she finds her partner, Paul, who has been eaten by these bat-like creatures. Like the back of his head is eaten off, and he's like a big rubber man. Like you could tell he's rubber, but it's okay because it's cool looking. And he has no back at the back of his head, and his brain is being kept in a jar of some kind, and he's able to communicate a little bit. The bats corner her, and then she wakes up on a table where the Benedicts are trying to feed her to the bats. Then she wakes up again in a hospital. And I didn't pick up on this. I could have just been missing it. So then her mother comes in, and she looks just like Mrs. Benedict. And the doctor comes in who looks just like Mr. Benedict. They say she was forced to, she lost the baby as a result of the car accident. She wants to see Paul. They says Paul's brain dead, but he's here in the room in the same bed, or in the same, on the other bed. And so they open the curtain and she sees him, but it's him like he was down in the caverns. It's all emptied headed rubber mask, she screams in terror. And then that's when her mother opens her blouse and realizes or reveals that the baby is inside like a transparent womb on the outside of her body. It's a wild creature effect as her whole body is like full of weird holes and portals and flaps and all kinds of stuff. So Sarah pulls off the bedsheet, realizes half of her arm is gone. The hospital turns back into her cavern, and she takes off. She's still on the table where she was earlier. She takes the rest of the cover off. Her legs are gone. And she is about to become a meal for those monster bat things down in the caverns.
I'll start this one. This was my favorite segment. I think The Drowned is probably narratively and structurally probably a better short film or a better part of Anthology. But this one, man, you give me like a depiction of hell, some slightly over the top acting. Give me some fucking gooey, rubbery monsters and some gooey, slimy gore. Brian Usna. It's like me. I absolutely loved this one. Also, again, done with a very small cast and a very maybe the most ambitious when it came to set pieces, but it's still done like almost like a what do they call it? A tunnel film, bottle film. Yeah, just, the edible it's happening.
We're on borrowed time right now.
Hey, I was sore after jiu-jitsu, and the CBN really helps. The CBN makes my body feel better, and the THC makes my brain feel better. So we get the
no complaints from me.
We get the whole thing going on. I loved the flying monsters in this.
Very cool.
And so we talked about a little bit earlier. The horrific thing to me is, at no point do these characters really acknowledge, except for the two protagonists, the antagonists never acknowledge the batshit craziness of the whole scenario. They're just kind of like living their lives. Like this is just Tuesday. This is what we do on a Tuesday. We kidnap police officers and feed them to fucking like our Lovecraftian monsters in the basement.
They just kind of stay in kooky neighbor mode the entire time.
Yeah. And the acting, Sidney Coleman is a lead actress in this. I think she does a fantastic job. A long time, I didn't know this. She did 130 episodes of Young and the Restless. and like 20 episodes of Guiding Light. So a very prolific television actress. I thought she did a great job in this. And the male actor, his name is Abba. I'm gonna butcher his name, but he's one of those guys that when you see him, you know you've seen him at a bunch of other places. And probably my favorite movie he's in is he was in Black Dynamite. He was in Run recently. But I love him in life.
Okay.
And also a prolific soap opera actor too. Did about 80 episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful. He also did a movie, because I like to go through the list and try to find the wacky movies. He was in a movie called Kinky. And I have to read a tagline of this. A talented, shy, single doctor balances work, religion, love, and BDSM.
Okay.
Can we leave religion out of this? It's just like, and work. I just thought a tagline. I'm like, that is a funny goddamn tagline.
Oh yeah.
And this one was directed by Brian Usna, so a maximum slimy factor. And god damn it, you can just tell that Brian's on set watching these effects and just beaming ear to ear.
Oh yeah. No, when you see Brian use his name attached to something, you're going to have some goopiness. You're going to have some crazy effects. He directed a bunch of good stuff. But also he was a like big time producer for stuff like Stuart Gordon movies and things like that. So yeah, this feels like Stuart Gordon. This whole Necronomicon movie feels like a Stuart Gordon movie. But you definitely see that with the Brian Usna crossover, because he loves this stuff. He loves the goopy and the crazy, and he made Society with a man's face coming out of someone's butt. Like it is what he loves.
This man directed the shunting. That's
right.
That's all you have to know about Brian Usna. And he did, we talked about earlier, he did do Bride of Reanimator and Beyond Reanimator, which were follow-ups to Stuart Gordon's Reanimator. So he's got that pedigree there. But this one, man, like also for me, one of the most terrifying things in horror movies is when these bad things are happening and you're conscious and you can't do anything about it. And I think that ending fits in so horrifically when she wakes up with her limbs missing.
Yeah,
because she's not dead. She's not gonna get a sudden quick death. She's gonna get a horrific death being mutilated by these Lovecraftian monsters, and that is just terrifying. You said it best earlier too when you said the body was obviously rubber, but it's okay because it looked awesome. Yeah, the empty body, and then when it turns around and you see the empty skull, and I think it has. I could be making this up because sometimes my brain will see things that aren't there. Not that I'm insane, but just sort of. Hey, we grew up with with the army of parents, boomer parents that were like, oh, when you watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you see the hook go all the way through her body. Yeah, because our brains will do that. They'll. I could have sworn you could have seen like the light in between his eyes, his empty eyes. Which, again, I love this segment. This segment like hits all these great notes for me, and I do love. I'm interested in your thoughts too on the eccentric couple, if that acting worked for you or not.
Yeah, no, it definitely did, because I think there's something about them that is like, they seem normal but also off-putting at the same time. Like they seem like somebody who you'd actually see in real life, but there's just something kind of off-putting about them, like like you wouldn't trust them with your kids.
Yeah, like he'd hold the door for you at the pharmacy, but then you'd be behind him while he's yelling at the pharmacy clerk because the plastic bag is too big. Right.
Like they're just that offness, I think, really is what makes it work so well, is because they see, because he keeps saying like, oh, I'm not the butcher, I'm not connected to the butcher, I'm just the landlord here, I'm just, I rent a room. And the whole time you're like, nah, you're doing something. Like you were involved somehow.
He's doing that thing like when you ask your child when they're young, like, hey, do you know these crayons went? Like, no, I don't know, because I was in the other room washing my hands with some soap at the time, and the soap was purple. It's like, huh, you sure gave me a lot of information for a simple yes or no question. Right. It reminds me when I used to work at Apple and people bring their computer in, they'd be like, it doesn't turn on. And it'd be suspiciously clean. Almost like something was spilled on there, and you'd press the keys and they'd be suspiciously crunchy, because they had coffee in them or wine in them. Sure. And you'd say, did something spill on this? And they'd be like, no, because I was just, surfing the internet, reading about the Bible, and And the next thing I know, the computer turned off.
It just won't come on.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you if you spilled anything on it, and you gave me an alibi.
Yep. But yeah, no, I think this one's great too, and it's got such a great payoff at the end with that effect of the lady opening up her shirt with the weird like alien looking stuff, and again, she's got like vaginas all over her chest. Like, it's just weird flappy stuff, but it is great. And there's a little baby in there inside a little clear thing, and I love it. I love how it all comes together in the end.
It's also kind of creepy too in the past, in the second segment too, when the wounds first start opening up on the doctor, they look like little like fucking David Cronenberg vaginas.
Yeah, for sure.
Not David Cronenberg's vagina, but the vaginas he always puts on screen. Like, everyone remembers James Woods like fisting his stomach hole
right.
and pulling out a gun.
Yep.
Hey, if you're gonna hide a gun, might as well hide it in your stomach.
It's good hiding. If you got a little pocket, you might as well use it. But the story's not over yet, because we still have the wraparound to finish up. Because remember, Lovecraft is inside the library. The monks are upset with him. He says, just come out, open the door. And he says, I can't. I dropped the key. And the monk gets furious and tells him to put up the book. But then underneath where the key got dropped, some big like slimy monster thing starts stirring in the water. And then this is my favorite thing. The head monk, it's like a jail cell, bars, and the bars are too skinny for a person to fit through, but he squishes his head through the bars. And it is, again, another great effect, and comes through the bars. He's obviously not a human. He's some other creature. Lovecraft is using a sword with inside of his cane to stab the monster in the water. And then when the monk comes in, Lovecraft grabs him by, I don't even know how to describe it, grabs him by like the upper lip and peels his face back.
Yeah, it's crazy because at this point, Lovecraft doesn't know this guy's a Lovecraftian monster, but his first instinct when being attacked by somebody else is to tear their face off.
And then the monk spends the rest of the few minutes of the segment with like his skin all like behind his head, like just flapping around. And eventually he manages to kill both the monster underneath and the monk, and he gets into a cab. Did you recognize the cab driver?
It was Brian Usna.
That's right.
Yeah.
Brian Usna drives him off, and he leaves with the book to continue his adventures.
You're underselling the death of the monk a little bit.
Oh no, it's huge. It's great
because he stabs the monk in the eye. He stabs the demon in the eye again with all about the eyes. Fucking Fulci be so proud of this. Stabs the demon right in the eye, and then the monk's trying to hold his face while this Lovecraftian monster is gonna come eat him. And if you guys are watching on video, you're gonna get a treat because I'm using my hands in a very expressive manner. But he holds his head, and then fucking Lovecraft does the old go behind, the old switcheroo, and changes places with them. And this Lovecraftian demon comes out of the portal and eats his head and tears it off in such a great scene, like such a great effect. And I also told my wife when I was watching this, like, this is the movie that if they did this today, it'd be so riddled with CGI and it wouldn't be a good movie because it would be so reliant on that. Whereas, God damn it, people out there, filmmakers, I know you can't all do it, but for at least me, do it for me. we have a big enough following. Do it for me to give me practical effects. Give me all the practical effects.
And even something as simple as the monk sticking his head between the bars. That is it's such a tiny thing. He just puts his head through the bar, like he squishes it through. It's so cool looking. Like, yes, just that one little thing is so cool looking.
And that is actually like something I love when they do in horror movies, when they take the human body and make it move in impossible ways. Mm-hmm. The Void did it very, very well with the demon. They actually hired. Have you ever seen the video of the contortionist they hired to do that movie?
Mm-mm.
I will try to find it and send it to you. But everybody, if you haven't seen this, look it up, because they basically hired this contortionist and they said go, and he falls down and like his body falls in like a pile, to which I think
I know who you're talking about. I think I've seen him like do his thing in other places too.
But anytime I think the human body moving in unnatural ways is such like an uncomfortable feeling. Mm-hmm. Because I think it's one of those in your brain, you're seeing such a familiar thing that's acting in ways that it shouldn't act.
Right.
And that's not, I'm not saying like I think contortionists are disgusting or gross. I'm fascinated by it, but it does make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah. I think that's also what's so fascinating and great about it. So I think like that, you're right. I think that effect with him coming through the bars immediately, like it made my skin crawl just a little bit the first time I saw that.
Well, and up until this point, you have no indication that guy's anything other than just a human monk. Like he's just a guy. And then he's Lovecraft's in there. He's safe though. He's in the cage, so he's safe. And then he's not safe because there's something underneath him coming up, and then the monk is coming through the bars. Like you're not safe at all. And I love that. Like kind of this illusion of like, okay, you're okay, nothing to worry about. Oh, actually, everything to worry about. It's bad now.
Working in the security industry, my brain first goes is like, if that book's so important, why would you just let some dude have the key on his belt,
just dangling for?
Yeah, I feel like that should be in a lockbox. So Jody, let's do our episode ratings. Rating 1 through 5. What would you rate this, and what was your favorite segment?
Okay. My rating is not going to be a fair rating because I have so much fun with this movie that I can't. I don't know like objective quality of this movie, but I love it and it's fun. So I'm giving it 5 stars. It's fantastic every time I watch it. It's one of those movies. Every time I come back to it, I'm like, this is better than I remember. Like it's cooler than I remember, and I already remembered it as being cool in the first place. You know. Segment wise, I think probably the first one, The Drowned, is probably the best segment. But if I had to pick like the best scene, it's the David Warner melting scene in the second segment.
Okay.
It's one of the best things ever.
It's so good. So this is where, we watched a movie at Chattanooga Film Festival. I'm not going to name the movie because we'll release an episode on that with some of our friends soon. But basically, it's a guy who starts off talking about how much he hates film critics and horror movie podcasts because they're all negative and all want to nitpick everything. Mm-hmm. And Jody and I looked at each other. We laughed. We kind of we gave each other that knowing look, knowing if this guy listened to our podcast, he'd be like, those guys do not criticize my films enough. Because we tend to be, and this is where like I love when we have Jason on for some of these. And I know like I joke that Jason's a negative Nelly. He's not. He's just definitely more. Jody and I are willing to let a lot of faults slide if we have a good time with something. There's a reason why, like, I'll see some movies and I don't post them to our big chat group. Like, hey, everyone should watch this movie. I just message Jody. I'm like, dude, you should watch this movie. Crabs being one of my favorite examples of this.
Yes, I love Crabs. But I think this is the kind of movie that, like, even if it had been slow and boring the entire time, but then had like those effect scenes that it had, I would still be on board because it's so good.
Yeah.
But it is fun the rest of the time too. Like Jeffrey Combs playing Lovecraft alone is just a fun thing to see, you know?
But for all that being said, I'm also at a 5 on this movie.
Yeah.
I have such nostalgia for it. And the last time I watched this was in October. We did it for a little Halloween event we do with the folks at Bloody Good Horror in their Slack group. They're starting. They have Patreon too, so just I'll promote them. But seeing other people, like, again, this is a movie I've loved for so long, and seeing other people also enjoy this movie I love, like, really does warm my heart. And my favorite segment was Whispers. Mm-hmm. Because fucking gooey monsters and depictions of hell. I really enjoy depictions of hell. For a guy that doesn't believe in hell, I enjoy, give me all the depictions of it because it's always interesting. And I know it wasn't really supposed to be hell, but it almost had that God, I can't remember the cover of the old like 60s, 70s sci-fi movie. And the cover is this like demon that looks like one of these monsters from this movie on the cover. And I'm going to find it after we're done and I'll send it to you. I hope there's someone out there listening to this, like screaming right now at their car radio that it's this movie, you fucking idiots. So that was my favorite. But yeah, like I think again, like you, I'd be on board if the effects were good. It might not be a 5-star for me at that point.
Yeah,
but damn it, like everything in my opinion just works in this movie.
I feel like it's got just the right, like it doesn't play it too broad, like it doesn't go silly with it, but it has some humor mixed in. It's not like deathly serious. And then you have those crazy effects. You have, some really good actors. Like the acting is surprisingly good for a cheap direct-to-video movie. So I just feel like it hits everything. It's really a lot of fun.
Me too. So I think we are all in agreement, the two of us, that everyone out there, if you made it this far and you have not seen Necronomicon, please do. And you know what? Let us know. Let us know on our socials or whatnot if you liked it. Yeah. Let us know if we steered you wrong. We try not to.
We have.
If you're a 43-year-old fucking liberal dude that loves movies, you're gonna have a good time. If you're 25 and very critical of the film, thank you for listening to us old people. Also, you might not have as good of a time.
Just enjoy the magic trick of the special effects, if nothing else.
Yes. With that being said, let's get a shout out.
Hi, I'm Barbara Crampton, and you're watching Dads from the Crypt.
Love it. Amazing.
Lovely Barbara Crampton. Yes. And also a reanimator.
That's right. And for a little cross promotion here, Mondo and I were recently on our friend Joe's podcast, Films at First Sight. They just released an episode, I think either today or yesterday, that we were on talking about a short film starring Barbara Crampton. So go check out Films at First Sight for more of that.
And man, the edible definitely kicked things. I'm like, we're already at 51 minutes, so we're going to kind of rush through these next few segments. But I'm going to give you my song of the day. And it's a band I've used before, but I mentioned this, when I hear love music based on Lovecraft, I want it to sound like I'm fucking sitting in Arkham, Miskatonic University, and listening to music in my shitty dorm room. Those dorm rooms look nice, just saying. So this band is called Brown Jenkins. Brown Jenkins is the rat-faced creature from Dreams in the Witch House.
Yep.
And so the one man behind this band did some other work too, but kind of his demo and then the first record he did, I guess the first EP he did were kind of the real big ones where he went deep into the Lovecraft lore. The demo he did, if you put a gun to my head, I think it was called Call Down the Star or Call Down the Star Cult. And then he also released the EP, which is a song I'm going to use, which is called Dagonite, which if you are a Dagonite, you are a follower of Dagon, the great fish god. And the song I'm going to use is called Aeons of Crawling, because that just is epitomized. But to me, the sound that he got on this EP, I remember buying this EP from Barnes & Noble when I worked there as a young man. The best part about working in music and movies one day a week was discounts and ordering myself shit from so much stuff you could order from obscure labels. And I got this, that's where I got this CD from. And you can find it on streaming, but check them out. They sound like you'd expect a metal band in Rhode Island, just in Lovecraftian times to sound like, or in Dunwich, I should say. There we go.
Well, and since you mentioned Dagon, if you enjoy Necronomicon and you've never seen Stuart Gordon's 2001 movie Dagon, I think you'll love it too. It's another crazy fish people, great Lovecraft story. It's great. It's great. It's even got discount. What's Jeffrey Combs? It's got discount Jeffrey Combs in it. There's a guy who looks like him, but it isn't him. Shows up in some other Lovecraft stuff or some other Stuart Gordon stuff too.
How mean. Jody, horror news, my friend.
All right. So there was not a lot of news out there this week, but I did want to talk about some releases. One that I talked about last week, but I want to mention again because Obsession is now available to watch at home. And if you haven't, you should. It's VOD. Definitely check that one out. Another one that is coming to digital came out on June 30th. So it just came out a couple days ago. We saw it at CFF, or Mondo saw it at CFF, called Pitfall, where a young man is separated from his friends in the woods and he falls into a pit with spikes in it and it impales his leg and he's stuck there. And so that's our setup. And then it goes from there.
I had some shenanigans with this film, but there was overall, I really did enjoy this. I think it could have been shorter, but there's a lot of fun gore in this, a lot of fun effects, and some nice griminess, and some fun. And I can't remember the actor's name, but he played in Final Destination Bloodlines as the brother that works at the tattoo shop. He's in here and does a really great job.
Oh, and I just rewatched Bloodlines like 2 nights ago, and yeah, that movie's good too.
I mean, I'll watch that
that one.
tonight.
Watch that one.
But I'm kind of high, so I might just cry at the Tony Todd scene. So
yeah. Yeah, knowing it was coming this time, the Tony Todd stuff hits. But yeah, it's a great movie. As far as other ones, so there's a movie called Slasher Size that is launching exclusively on Bloodstream, which is a streaming service I didn't even know existed. But Slasher Size, it's a mass killer known as the Meathead stalks fitness clubs of Los Angeles, turning workout sessions into blood-soaked nightmares. The reasons you want to watch this, it's got Diana Prince, Darcy the Mail Girl, Felissa Rose, Tiffany Shepis, Lisa Wilcox. Like it's a bunch of horror ladies. Like ladies of horror are in it, and you get 80s workout stuff, which I love that kind of stuff. There's a great movie that Joe and I reviewed on another podcast called Killer Workout or Aerobicide, depending on which version you found. And you could do a whole workout class just from the scenes they show of people doing a workout in the middle of it all. It's fun. It's ridiculous. So yeah, go check out Slasher Size, released by the Horror Collective, by the way, Eli Roth's company. But also go watch Killer Workout from like 1987, I think, because it's a lot of fun. I think that's about it.
The only thing I'll add is the trailer for Robert Eggers' upcoming film Werewolf dropped.
That's right.
And if you haven't seen it, I am fucking excited.
Yeah. No, I had watched that trailer. I forgot that came out this week because we talked a little bit about I think a scene had been released last time we recorded.
Yeah.
Or
and
like
the trailer dropped
image.
literally the next day.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely excited for that one. I always like Robert Eggers stuff anyway, and this looks like it's right up his wheelhouse.
It looks like The Witch with more action.
Yeah.
And Witch is like one of my favorite horror movies of all time. So I am just fucking so stoked.
Yeah. Love it.
Cool. Thank you, Jody. So we'll go a little bit of dad advice, but nothing too crazy. It is the 4th of July today when we're recording. And what I will say is a lot of people say there's nothing to celebrate in our country. I don't agree with that. I think it's just you have to celebrate the things that you hold dear to yourself. The fact that we get to wake up this morning and spend the day with our families. But part of when people say if you criticize your country, you don't love it, I'm going to argue that. And I'm going to say part of loving your country and is wanting it to be better.
Yes.
And to want it to be better is to care. And I think most of us who are very disenfranchised with how our country is going right now, the reason we criticize it is because we want it to be better. We want it to be a better, happier place for every single person, no matter where you fall on the political spectrum.
Yeah. No, for the past decade or so, I've said I'm not really celebrating what America is. I'm celebrating what it's supposed to be or what it could be. Yeah. The ideals that we have, when we're at our best and we're working together and coming together, all of that side of things, that's what I'm celebrating. Things have been nasty for a long time. Like we've had to deal with some terrible people who have terrible ideas and are doing terrible things. And I'm not celebrating any of that. None of that stuff is worth celebrating. But what we could be, what we should, here's the thing. I don't want to let these bastards take away something that I like. Like I grew up 4th of July celebrations and doing stuff with my family. And it was a good time. It was a time to kind of feel like, hey, there was something good about this place that we live. We were lucky to be born here. And I don't want to let that get taken away. Just because they're in charge right now does not mean that's who we are. And that's not who we're always going to be.
But I really want to get to the real importance of today is back in 1993. There's a wrestler by the name of Yokozuna. And he dared any American to body slam him on the USS Intrepid. The funny part is he was a Samoan guy pretending to be a Japanese guy. And the man that did it was Lex Luger. Lex Luger climbed onto that, walked down to that ring, and picked up the nearly 600-pound Yokozuna and body slammed him. So today, on July 4th, we celebrate Lex Luger. And with that, write us a review, subscribe to us, hit the little like button if you're watching on YouTube. Find us on our social media, follow us, check out our Patreon where we have some exclusive reviews. I don't do this end thing as well as Jason does, but thank you guys for listening. We really do appreciate it. And till next time, we'll talk to you again on Dads from the Crypt.
Don't let the bastards get you down.
That is some sage advice. And this is the part we're going to cut out because I don't know how to play the outro again. Oh my God. Like,
you figured it out last time.
I did, dude. Like this time though, last time I wasn't high.
I think if you just stop the recording, it automatically plays, if I remember right.
Follow Dads from the Crypt on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or I will follow you to the grave. No, seriously, you really should watch. But be careful what you ask for. You may get it.